The morning sun filtered softly through the curtains, bathing the marble floors in golden warmth. The John mansion was quiet, almost deceptively so. You stood at the kitchen island, dressed in a soft peach dress. As you stirred the tea, breakfast was nearly ready. You glanced at the clock, 7:58 a.m. He'll be down soon. Right on cue, the sound of polished shoes against the staircase echoed through the hallway. You turn your head to find John Jungkook, your husband of 2 months, walking in with his usual air of composure and power. He was in his sleek black suit, hair neatly parted, looking like the definition of ruthless perfection. But what the world didn't see, what even his mother refused to admit, was the way his eyes softened just a little when they met yours. "Good morning," you said, placing the teacup in front of him. He hummed, "Morning." Then he took a sip. "Perfect, just how I like it." His mother, seated across the table with an unreadable expression, gave you a tight smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. You sat down beside him and placed some toast and omelette on his plate. You hesitated for a second, then softly spoke, Jungkook." He looked at you sideways, still chewing. "I was thinking, if you're not too busy today, could could we go visit my parents? My mother hasn't been keeping well, and Appa said she was asking for me last night." You were careful, respectful, and soft spoken. You knew your place in this house. You never raised your voice, never crossed lines. But this was your mother. Jungkook wiped his mouth and nodded without hesitation. "All right, I'll finish up early today. We'll go together." You blinked in surprise. One thing that Jungkook never sacrificed, no matter is his work, and he barely get time to come home, but seeing how he was willing to accompany you to your parents' house, it increased his respect in your heart. "Really?" He nodded again. "Why not? I haven't seen them in a while either, and your mom's health comes first." Your heart melted a little. No matter how cold or distant he tried to appear, it was moments like these that made your feelings for him grow. Moments when he made it clear he did care, but the clinking of a spoon hitting porcelain pulled you out of your thoughts. His mother, she hadn't said a word yet, but her eyes, those narrow, judgmental eyes, spoke volumes. "Jungkook," she said, voice sharp like a knife wrapped in silk. "You have got meetings all day. There are contracts to review, investors to meet, and you'll just skip it all to visit her parents?" He turned to her, voice calm. "Mom, I always have work, but I can take time out for people I care about." There was silence, heavy and tense. Her lips thinned. "Of course," she muttered, setting his fork down. "Because obviously, but let her go and visit them. Why do you need to go? I mean, your work is important right now." You flinched, eyes dropping to your plate, but Jungkook simply stood, grabbed his coat, and looked at you. "I'll see you at 4. Be ready by then." You gave him a small nod, smiling a little despite the thick tension. His mother's jaw dropped because this was the first time he ignored her words. "Okay." He turned to his mother next. "Okay, Mom, I'm leaving now. See you soon." Then he left. The sound of the door closing echoed too loudly in the now quiet room. You stood up to clear the plates, trying not to tremble. You knew what was coming. His mother sat there in silence, sipping her tea until finally, "You are clever, aren't you?" You turn around slowly. I didn't mean to upset you." "Oh, save it. You have been trying to twist my son around your finger since day one. Just because he shows you some respect, don't think you have won." "I had never thought that," you said quietly. "I asked because my mother isn't well. And you think I'm stupid?" Her voice rose a little, face twisted with something you hadn't seen before, jealousy. "I know women like you, no brothers, Weak family, barely any background, and now you have landed John Jungkook. So, of course, you want to keep dragging your slide into this house. You froze. I respect you as his mother. You said, trying to remain composed, but please don't insult my family. Insult? She laughed bitterly. I'm telling the truth. Your parents see a golden chance, a rich son in law, and no sons of their own. Who do you think they'll depend on? Who do you think they are trying to trap? You clenched your fist, voice firming. They're not like that. My parents never asked anything from you, from him. They only raised me to treat my husband's family as my own. Oh, shut up. She snapped. I've had enough of your fake goodness. And before you could even process it, a slap landed on your face. The sound rang louder than anything else in the room. Your head turned sharply from the force, cheeks stinging, eyes wide in pure shock. The tray you were holding fell to the floor with a loud crash, tea spilling everywhere. You needed to be taught a lesson, she hissed. Your eyes welled up with tears, not just from the pain but from the betrayal, the shame, the unfairness, and the audacity. You said nothing. You simply turned around, hands trembling, and walked away, step by step down the hallway, up the stairs, and into your room. No, his room, the one you both shared but rarely felt like yours. You locked the room, slid down to the floor, and cried. You didn't know how long you sat there. You didn't answer the maid's knocks. You didn't reply to the message Jungkook sent asking if you were ready. You didn't even look at your reflection. All you knew was that you had reached a point of no return and your heart was breaking. The sound of the car pulling into the driveway echoed faintly from your window. You didn't move. You had been sitting on the edge of the bed for hours now, fingers cold, back straight, eyes red and heavy from crying. You hadn't eaten, you hadn't replied to any of Jungkook's texts, and now he was home. You heard the front door open, footsteps, his voice greeting a maid, then silence. You knew he would be upstairs soon, and you didn't know what would be harder, seeing him or trying to explain what happened while he was gone. The door creaked open. Ryan, you didn't turn around. Your back stayed rigid, facing the window, arms folded around yourself protectively. He stepped in, the scent of his cologne hitting you first, warm, musky, familiar. His voice followed. I thought we were going straight to your parents, he said, confused. You didn't get ready? Still, you didn't speak. Something in your silence must have triggered something in him because the air shifted. His tone changed. Ryan, what's the matter? You clenched your jaw, refusing to turn around. You didn't want him to see you like this, eyes swollen, lips trembling, your soul bruised by the hand of the woman who raised him. But Jungkook wasn't one to be ignored. You felt the bed shift slightly behind you. His hand reached out gently but firmly and turned your shoulder to face him. You tried to look down, but his hand came up, cupping your jaw, forcing your gaze to meet his. The moment he saw your face, his expression dropped. His eyes scanned your face quickly, taking in your red nose, your tear-stained cheeks, your quivering lower lip. His brows furrowed deeply. Are you crying? He asked, voice barely above a whisper. Your lips parted but nothing came out. His eyes darted around your face in panic. Is everything okay? Is it your mom? He asked quickly. Did something happen to her? You shook your head, a choked sound escaping your throat. No, you whispered. It's not her. Then what? You again went silent and now he got a little annoyed. Ryan, I'm asking you something. Tell me what happened. His voice was cold but laced with worry. Your mother, she slapped me. You barely got the words out before you broke again. He froze, his hand still on your cheek, his body tense, eyes narrowing with confusion. She, what? You finally looked up at him, broken, tired. Your mother, she slapped me. The room fell completely silent. You sniffled and wiped your cheek, your voice trembling. After you left, she said horrible things about me, my family. She said I had no brothers, that we are trying to trap you, that my parents are using me to get to you. She said we are weak, and when I tried to speak up for them, she hit me. Jungkook's hand dropped from your face, his jaw clenched, muscles visibly tightening as he stood up slowly, stepping back. His eyes were dark now, not with disbelief but with something dangerous, something boiling beneath the surface. He looked toward the door, then at the floor, then back at you. Why didn't you call me? He asked, his voice unusually quiet. I didn't want to ruin anything, you whispered. You respect her. I didn't want you to. Respect her doesn't mean she gets to disrespect you. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing now, struggling to hold himself together. You had never seen him like this, so visibly conflicted, like a storm was growing just beneath his skin. You stood slowly, wrapping your arms around yourself. I didn't want you to be stuck between us. He stopped pacing and looked at you. His voice was calm but deadly serious. I'm not stuck between anything. You are my wife. You stare at him. I didn't marry you just to let someone hurt you in this house. I don't care who they are. You bit your lip, feeling your eyes burn again. But she's your mother. And you are my woman. He cut in, stepping closer. She crossed the line. You looked away again, but this time he didn't let you hide. He cupped your cheeks gently, thumbs wiping away your fresh tears. She doesn't get to insult your family. Not while you are with me. You felt your breath catch in your throat at his words. There was something different in his voice now, not just protectiveness, it was possessiveness, like he had made up his mind and no one would be allowed to touch you. He kissed your forehead softly. I wish you had told me earlier, he murmured. I would have come back right away. You shook your head. It was already late. I didn't want a fight. He stayed quiet for a moment, holding you against his chest. I won't cause a scene, he finally said, but this won't be ignored. You looked up at him. I don't want you to hate her because of me. He stared down at you, brushing your hair behind your ear. I don't hate her, but I love you, and if anyone thinks they can treat you like this without consequences. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. Because the way he held you told you everything. That no matter how cold he had seemed in the past, no matter how distant or arranged your marriage had been, he had chosen you now, and he wasn't going to let anyone hurt you again. That night you didn't visit your parents. Instead, you lay in his arms silently, curled up in the bed you had once felt so out of place in. He didn't say much after that, just held you, but you felt it in his body, the tension, the storm waiting for morning. You didn't know what he was planning to do, but you knew one thing for certain, he wasn't going to stay silent. The John mansion felt unusually cold that morning, not because of the weather, but because something had shifted. The house staff could feel it, the silence that came with unspoken rage, the kind of silence that always preceded a storm in this house. Jungkook hadn't greeted anyone this morning. No soft nods, no casual instructions. He didn't even glance at the breakfast table as he walked down the staircase. Jaw sharp, gaze unreadable. His mother was already seated, waiting as usual, her posture straight. But today her confidence was brittle. Didn't you even greet your mother this morning? She said coolly, sipping her tea. That's a first. Jungkook stopped near the end of the table, arms folded behind his back. His voice came out calm. You slapped my wife. The cup in her hand paused mid-air. She placed it back on the saucer carefully, almost theatrically, then looked up at him. Oh, so she complained, huh? She said with a soft laugh. Your wife matters more than your mother, huh? Jungkook didn't blink. Everyone has their own place. Her brows lifted. And what did she do? Or you didn't bother to ask? I will look into what she said, he said evenly, but I already know what you did. His mother's face hardened. And who am I to you, Jungkook? Just some woman sitting in your house? You are my mother, but she is my wife. His voice dropped lower, firmer. And do you know what that means? She didn't reply. It means she holds half my honor, half my battles, half my future. You gave birth to me, but she's the woman I vowed to protect. His mother scoffed. I understand that, but your wife clearly doesn't. She doesn't know how to talk to elders. No values. She has plenty of values. Jungkook snapped, the first crack in his restraint showing. And if she ever forgets how to speak with respect, I will correct her, not you. I was correcting her, she snapped back. That's what you don't see. By slapping her? His voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. By humiliating her in her own home? By dragging her family into your insecurities? She stood up now, angry. You are blinded by her beauty. You don't see what kind of girl she really is. No, Jungkook said, stepping forward. I see exactly what kind of girl she is. The one who lowers her gaze when you walk in. The one who makes you your tea even when her hands are trembling. The one who has never raised her voice. His mother's face was red now, but Jungkook wasn't finished. She's not just a girl, Mom. She's the wife of the heir to this empire. He pointed down as if referencing the very floor they stood on. So put her in that place and treat her like she belongs there. Silence, a deep, sharp silence that sliced through the room like a blade. His mother looked at him long and hard, searching his face for something, maybe a weakness, maybe a trace of regret, but there was none, only fire and unshakable resolve. Jungkook took one step back, straightened his collar. I don't want a war in this house, he said quietly, but don't mistake my silence for permission. Then he turned, walking out, leaving his mother standing in the middle of the room, stunned, defeated, and finally, for the first time, out of control. You sat near the window, legs tucked under you, the morning light gently falling on your skin. You hadn't slept much, not after what happened the previous day. You kept replaying the scene, her words, the slap, and the way Jungkook's arms had wrapped around you later like a shield against the world. You didn't know how he would react. He hadn't said much last night after confronting you, just that low, dangerous promise, she won't get away with this. The bedroom door opened, your heart skipped. He walked in slowly, tie loosened, sleeves rolled up. But something was different. His steps were calmer, but his gaze was sharp, focused directly on you. You stood up immediately, unsure what to say. Did you talk to her? You asked hesitantly. He didn't speak right away, just stepped close and gently touched your wrist, guiding you to sit down on the edge of the bed. I did. You held your breath. He took your hands in his thumb brushing over your knuckles. She said a lot of things. He added after a pause, but so did I. Your brows furrowed. Did you fight with her? No, I don't need to raise my voice to be heard, but I made it clear what she did to you will never happen again. Your eyes welled up, but you blinked quickly. She was angry. Maybe she felt threatened. Don't defend her. Not after what she did. You can still respect her, but you don't have to excuse her cruelty. You looked down at your intertwined hands. I just didn't want to make you choose between us. He scoffed lightly, lifting your chin with two fingers until your eyes met his. There is no choosing. You are not competing with her. You are my wife. He exhaled deeply, leaning closer. I'm sorry, he whispered, for not protecting you sooner. You shook your head, touched by the genuine softness in his tone. You came when I needed you. There was a long pause between you two, comfortable yet charged. Then he smiled gently. You still want to visit your mom? Your eyes lit up. Can we? Of course, let's go together, and this time, properly. You tilted your head. Properly? He reached for the side table, picked up something, and then carefully draped your dupatta over your head, adjusting it gently like it was a crown. Then he pulled your hand into his and looked you in the eyes, like a wife of the John heir should be introduced.